Hi, and welcome to episode 8 of Beks Creates podcast. My name is Beks, and I'm coming to you from Bristol, where I live with my partner Paul and our cat Mufasa. I have changed location slightly today. You will notice I am in our very bare looking third bedroom because the light wasn't great in the living room. So normally I would podcast earlier in the morning, but it is just coming up for midday, so I'm sort of chasing the light around the house a little bit. So it is Tuesday the 21st of July, and it is finally the school holidays. Yay! Oh my goodness. So I think it was about 4 weeks ago I last podcast, and I have not stopped since then. The end of term was just exhausting. I'd like to say a really big thank you to everyone who messaged after my last podcast just saying, you know, don't worry about podcasting, just get your head down and get to the end of term. That was really thoughtful. Sorry, I'm on a really squeaky chair. If you keep hearing them funny noises, that's what it is. So the end of term was crazy. I ended up teaching, I think we worked out as 75 different children in one term across 3 year groups. I wasn't in my classroom for the last 2 weeks, so I was like a nomad. I was just carrying my bags around the school and leaving things everywhere, and I had no idea what I'd done in my classroom, what I hadn't done. So yesterday was a lot of getting my head around that. But it is the school holidays. We did actually have an amazing last week of term. My boss, my head teacher, actually retired, which, bless her, was just the worst timing. But we managed to absolutely do her proud with all the celebrations we could manage within the rules. But we spoiled her rotten, so did the families in school. It was amazing. And on Friday, the parents arranged for the road outside the school to be closed so that they could do a socially distanced applause as she left the building, and it was just so emotional. We made a guard of honour of all the staff down the pathway outside of school, and she walked between us out into the road to see all these families just clapping, and it was just, of course we were all tired as well, so it was just super emotional. We were all just blubbing. So it was a lovely way to end the term, and I then came home and really started the summer off with a bottle of champagne, which was lovely. So I have big knitting plans. I've got a few finished objects to show you today, mainly socks, because that was really all I could get my head around in the last few weeks. But I've started a few things this weekend, ready for summer knitting. And yeah, got loads of plans and intend to do loads of knitting. I've actually got big plans for gift knitting, dare I say it, for Christmas. But I'll talk about that a little bit more as I go along, because I've got some finished objects and some whips for that already. So I'm going to start off with the cutest little thing. Look at this. A tiny hat. So this was just a free pattern that I found on Ravelry. I can't remember what it was called or who it was by, but it was just a really simple, free, ribbed baby hat. I think that's what it was called, in fact. So this is going to be for my friend's little girl for Christmas, and she will be nearly 1 by then, but she's tiny. The 0 to 3 month jumper that I made her when she was born only just fits her now at 6 months. So I'm quite confident that this will fit her. It's got a lot of give in it anyway. So the yarn is a DK yarn. Sorry, I have to get it to focus. I'm not sure if it is focusing or not. I didn't have my glasses on. Not good. So the yarn is a DK yarn from my lovely friend Kelly at Lay Family Yarns, and the colourway I believe is called Bertie Bots. My friend isn't a huge pink fan, so I tried to get something that's got a little bit of pink in, but lots of other colours too, so this was perfect. And then the pom-pom was a really cool present from my friend Sophie at Pixie Yarns, and it's just perfect. I just love how big it is compared to the rest of the hat. It's just gorgeous. This was a really nice, I fancied just doing something, casting on something new, but I didn't want anything that would take me too long. So this was just the perfect little thing. I love it, and I will definitely be making some more for other little ones for Christmas. And I think the pattern was pretty good. I think it had quite a range of kids' sizes. So yeah, it's quite a useful little pattern to have. So there we go. Number 1, done. Okay, so then socks. I have made a few other pairs of socks, I think, since the last podcast, but I don't have them with me because I've already given them away. But my first ones I may have had started, I think, in the last podcast. So these are just a plain pair of vanilla shorties. And the yarn is another Lay Family yarn, and I believe it's called Vintage Fairy Lights. My friend Kate gave it to me for Christmas. And I don't think the light's really doing it justice, but it's like really pale, pastel-y, sort of oranges, blues, purples, greens, yellows. It's kind of a slightly unexpected colour combination, but works really, really well. And these, I won't say who they're for just in case anybody watches. I don't think they will, but these are going to be a Christmas present for somebody. Been sneakily trying to find out what everyone's shoe size is. So yeah, that was just really simple. I don't use a pattern for vanilla socks. I only really generally use stitch patterns for any socks. I always do a rounded toe, which I believe comes from the Kate Atherley sock. I can't even think what the book's called. Like her sort of sock recipe book. The toe comes from there, and the heel is just a true afterthought heel, which I believe is from the Susan B. Anderson Smooth Operator sock, but I incorporate the Kirby Werby method from the video on YouTube so that you don't get any holes. And these are really perfect for gift knitting, those kind of heels, because you can just you can knit the tube and then put the heel in where it needs to be. So I think these look really nice, and I've just done a little rolled cuff on those. I sort of alternate on shorty socks, as you'll see in a minute, between either a rolled cuff or just a tiny little rib. But yeah, first one done. So Christmas present in the bag. My next socks were really fun, and these knit up really, really quickly. So this yarn is by my favourite self-striping dyer, who you all know is Fab Funky Fibres. And they did some Tiger King special colourways a little while back. And I have to admit, I watched it and got very hooked. You feel like you shouldn't watching that programme, but I couldn't help it. So when I saw the colourway, I had to have this one. This one was called Tiger King. I think they did another one that was called something like Hey Cool Cats and Kittens. But yeah, I just love that they're a bit leery. I love the sort of tigery stripes. I think that's such a cool effect. And I believe, is this called the Vanilla Latte socks? Something like that, where it's just a rib down the front. It's a free pattern, so I wouldn't be giving anything away by saying it was a 6x2 rib. Just to give it a bit of interest, I like to have a pair of vanilla socks on the needles just for like pick up and go knitting, but generally I prefer some kind of stitch pattern. Sorry, it was a postman, I think, making a noise. I prefer some kind of stitch pattern on my socks, just so I don't get bored, and also so I don't knit them too quickly, because otherwise I'd just churn them out, it'd be silly. So I just like a bit of interest, and especially with self-striping socks, I think you can kind of make more of the stripes by adding a bit of texture. So those are for me. And even though I am still wearing trainer socks a bit, because I've been wearing like sports kit to work, I am still saving these for sort of autumn, for a load of new knitted things for the autumn. Sorry, I hurt my finger when I was setting up to podcast. It's really sore. Really sore. I trapped it between the arm of this desk chair and the desk. It really hurt. I've got a red mark. Oh, poor me. Right then, so these socks I absolutely love, and I absolutely loved knitting. I'm going to put both on the blockers to make the most of them. So these are my Glastonbury weekend socks. So I've never been to Glastonbury. I don't think I ever would, just because I am a bit too much of a princess. I wouldn't cope with the toilet issues or the mud or the not washing or all sorts of things. But I do always love watching it on TV. So obviously it didn't happen this year, but there was a whole weekend on the BBC and on iPlayer of old sets. So we really made the most of that weekend. It was really fun. So on the Friday night, Paul's sister came round with her partner, and we put a tent up in the garden. We've got a canopy over our patio, so we pulled that out and put all lights underneath, so it looked like a stage. Then we put the TV underneath there with the coverage on. Then we had the fire pit out, so we cooked some things on the fire pit. Had a few drinks. Amy threw some cans of cider on the ground to make it look really authentic. So yeah, that was a really, really fun night. We did actually try and sleep in the tent that night, but the airbed went down. So after about 45 minutes, we're both like, no, this is so uncomfortable. We came inside. But we persevered. So the next day we went straight and bought a new airbed. And that was much better. We put that in the tent. And then I'd ordered from this lovely small business in Bath. I'd ordered a picnic grazing box. So it was amazing. We had one for my dad's birthday, and I really wanted one for us. So it had sort of all like cheeses and breads, crackers, meats, like pork pies, like crudité. There was like chutney, and then there was like some sweet things, fruit and stuff. It was amazing. So we went and picked up that, and we opened it at lunchtime with a bottle of Prosecco, and we literally watched Glastonbury coverage and grazed and drank Prosecco all afternoon. It was so nice. It was such a treat, especially at that point in the term when I was getting really, really tired. So I thought I needed a Glastonbury weekend cast on that I could work on while we were doing that. And of course it had to be something bright and funky and rainbowy. So I had, I don't know if you remember last time, I had a set of minis from Jen at Castleview Yarns, which I'd used to make the two little jumpers with the rainbow stripes. And those used such a tiny amount of those minis that I had loads left. So I thought I would use them to make some socks. And I'd been following along on Instagram. Rachel Coopy from Coop Knits had been putting a scrappy sock pattern just in the captions underneath some photos. So it was like step by step. And I don't think there was even a set pattern. I'm not sure if it was sort of every day or, you know, every couple of days or something. It was a bit more of the pattern. So I just wrote it down, and I thought I would do it with these yarns. So she actually did it so there were two mismatching socks at the end of it. But I wrote both down, and I think I'm going to do one pair of each. It's a bit much for me, mismatched socks. My OCD can't quite cope with it. So these absolutely whizzed up. I think on the first day I got like down to here, which was amazing. I did actually have to unpick the green on the first one because I accidentally did the pattern on the back and without remembering that that was going to be under the foot. So I just love them because they're all these different textures. This one here is actually an extra colour that I added in because I quite wanted a 7-colour rainbow. And there was only 6 of the minis. So this is actually Frenchy by the Wall Kitchen that I had a little bit left of, and I absolutely adore, so I'm glad I could put those in. And I also added in a bit of this for the heel, which I think is Nougat by Stranded Dye Works. It was just a bit I have had for ages, so I can't quite remember, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So it's, yeah, they were just lovely. So you've got almost like a 2-part cuff. So there's like a 2x2 twisted rib, which is a really nice effect. I don't know, is this focusing? Is it my eyes? No, it's not focusing. Hang on. Let me try and block my face out so it'll focus. There we go, that's a bit better. So yeah, you've got 2 parts to the rib. Then there's this lovely, like, really simple yarn over lace pattern. Have I missed a yarn over there? Oh, let's show you that side instead. Then this section here was like a broken rib stripe section, just to give it a bit of texture. Then a bit of the plain yellow colour. Then the green was, I found, really similar to the blueberry waffle socks pattern. Again, like a sort of broken rib. And then just some stripes, and then the toe. And I used my own normal toe in here, as I do. So I just adore these. I think they're so happy, and they're going to remind me of a really, really, really happy weekend. It was so fun. And I think our little glassed homebrew festival is going to become a regular, even when it's back on. So that's going to be good. Okay, so that's all the finished objects. So I'm going to move on to whips. I feel like I've got quite a few, but I did sort of, I had quite a lot of socks going, and then I felt like I needed to start some other things to get my teeth into. So I have no idea what's going to come out of these bags. I can't even remember what's in which bag. So the first one is a sock, which is going to be a Christmas present. So I had the yarn left over from my first Whitmore sweater. This is Tart by Mr. B's. Cool, 16 minutes in, and I think that's the first time I've mentioned Mr. B's. Cool. Hannah, if you're watching, I'm not going to do very well in the drinking game, am I? So yeah, Tart by Mr. B's. I just love this colour, it's gorgeous. So I thought I would make a little pair of shorties for the Christmas pile. I was just sort of faffing about, kind of playing with ideas and kind of coming up with stitch patterns of my own. So I just did kind of it's like a rib with like a twisted stitch in there, but it doesn't really show up very well. I think it'd be better when it's blocked. But I like a ribbed sock because it kind of hugs your foot really nicely. So I've only done that much so far, but there's obviously no rush with it. And this will be quite good sort of car knitting or like watching TV and stuff. So yeah, not a lot to say about that one. I knit all of my socks on 2.5 Chowgu red lace. I think it's an 80 centimetre cable, or maybe a 60, 80 I think. So yeah, wouldn't use anything else. I'm a really tight knitter, so if I went down to a 2.25, they'd be tiny. They'd take forever. So yeah, that's those. Goodness me, I'm going to cause carnage in this room to clear up afterwards. Okay, this is a project I am loving. So, you will have heard me talk about my friend Rachel, who is twin Set and Pearl. Well, her twin sister Jo has released a new pattern, and I think for like a couple of days when she first released it, it was free. So I jumped in there because I thought it was absolutely beautiful. The photograph is not brilliant, I'm afraid. It's called the Crest of a Wave Shawl, and it's actually a lace weight pattern, and it's just got this lovely, I don't know if you can see very well, it's very dark. But a lovely lace pattern, just quite a simple repeat. It does call for lace weight yarn, but actually I decided I really, really wanted to use this L'Abbe Anime that I got in Paris in February, which actually happens to be a sport weight. So I've gone up from a 3.5, it says in the pattern. I'm doing it on a 4.5. So I think that'd be okay. And I've got, in case that runs out, which it will, I've got just a plain grey. This is amazing, this grey. It's Claire & John's Buble base, so called because it's smooth. And it's undyed, and I'm going to forget what it is now. It's alpaca cashmere silk. It's heavenly. I mean, look at the halo on it. It's just so lovely. So I've got that to kind of carry on in when this one runs out, which I think will look lovely. And I just think this shawl is going to be brilliant because I'm going to be able to wear it with anything. So here it is so far. So I've done quite well. It's quite a simple repeat. I'm sort of starting to pretty much memorise it. I love the lace pattern. It's going to block out beautifully and I think the colour looks awesome. It's cool. It's knit from side to side. So the rows will get long eventually. But what you do is quite clever, the construction of the border when you get to the end. So that's really cool. So I'm really looking forward to having this one because I think this one will be a really wearable one, and I can see myself making more of them. I think they'd make really nice presents. And I've got in there my little project keeper card from Nikki. Just filled in all the details. Yeah, and I've just made my notes that I adjusted the needle to change the thickness of the yarn. So that's that one. So plugging away with that one. Next one is another sock. Now, this yarn was given to me by my friend Lydia in our knit club Secret Santa at Christmas. And I think it was a Miss Babs, but I've lost the tag and I can't remember what the colourway is called or anything. But it's lovely. It's like lovely sort of jewel colours. And it's got a sparkle in it, which is really nice. I feel like I haven't knit with sparkle yarn for ages. So again, this one's a sport weight. So this is knitting up kind of bigger. But I'm just doing like a twisted stitch detail. It's actually reverse stocking it with a twisted rib detail. I quite like that. And I quite like the way it's pooling in kind of a spiral. Looks really cool on camera actually, but I don't think the sparkle's showing up. It is really quite sparkly, but I don't think the light's really picking it up. But yeah, they're going to be another one for the present pile. What I might do with some of these is just sort of knit a tube and then not put the heel in until I know who they're going to be for, if I've got nobody in mind to start off with. And then when I know their shoe size, I can just add the heel in afterwards. Right, excuse me, doing too much talking. Okay, sorry, the water bottle leaks a bit. Now the next one, this one I've had on the needles for a little while. I can't remember if I showed it before. I know I talked about it. And it is the Fleur Shawl by Espace Tricot. Oh, I mean, just look at that picture. When I saw that picture, I had to knit this. So yeah, I started it a little while ago, but I'd put it down for ages. I don't really know why. It's not difficult, but I just did. So I picked it up again at the weekend and made some good progress, but the rows are already quite long and the bobbles take forever. My friend Angie has knit 5 of these and I don't know how she's done it because I don't think I could knit those bobbles 5 times over. They're lovely. And the construction is cool. And I mean, look at them. Just look at them. They're so funky. But that bobble row there, the second one, which is obviously quite long, took me probably 2 hours. And I've got 2 more bobble rows to go. The last one being the bind off. So it's going to take me days. But I love it. I mean, this colour, look at it. I just love it. Kind of matches my nails. Sorry, I'm hiding this one because I lost it just now. Oh, the colour. So the colour is knit by my lovely friend Sophie. I'll show it to you on my project card from Pixie Yarns. And she actually, she named it for me. Sorry, I can't talk. She named it for me and sent me, she forgot to put the labels on the yarn, on the skeins of yarn, so she sent me the labels, which I thought was really cute. So it's called, the yarn is called Beks' Orange Fleur, but I think it's loosely based on her Orange Fizz colourway, I want to say, which has purple speckles, but she just did it for me without the purple speckles, which is very lovely. So I think I'm knitting this exactly as the pattern says. I think. It's a DK, so I'm holding fingering double, And then I'm also holding the floof double for the bobble rose. No, it says 5mm needle, and I'm doing it on a 4.5. I think for no other reason than I didn't have a 5 available. But hey, it's a shawl, I'm not that worried. If it's too small, if I've got enough yarn, I'll just keep going for a little bit longer, I guess. But I'm not going to worry about it with a shawl, it's not worth it. So yeah, I cannot wait to wear that, and I can see that being a real favourite in the winter, especially that lovely bright colour. I think that's just going to be like sunshine on a winter's day, that one. Sorry, I can't stop feeling my hair. I'm not used to having it down so much, but I had it cut. Yay! Right then, this one is a new, well, it is a new cast on, but I do remember I spoke about this on the last episode. So this is the Summer Sorrel Sweater by Wool and Pine. So I've only got a little bit of a picture. Got that bit there. So this is a gorgeous pattern. It's been a sweater design, and it's been adapted to be like a summer tee. So I know I cast it on just before last time I podcast, and I ridiculously did it on a Monday night when I was really tired and I wasn't really concentrating, and I made so many mistakes, and I was like, no, rip it out, save it for the summer. So on Sunday I sat down when it was quiet, and I watched the videos that were linked in the patterns, and I watched some other tutorial videos and made sure I got it right. And I am loving it already. So it's a bit bunched up on the needles, I'm afraid, but this is the Summer Sorrel. So the yarn I'm using is Kiss a Wookie from Mr. B's. I mean, look at those speckles. Sorry, I really feel this isn't focusing very well today. I don't really know why. That focusing a bit better. No. But I mean, look at that. So pretty. And then I'm going to fade it into this one, which is also Mr. B's, which is called Raspberry Special. And they're probably not colours I would have chosen for a garment, but actually, I think they're really fun. So yes, I've made my way through the first chart, and I'm halfway through the second chart, and then I think during the third chart I'm going to fade in the second colour, so it's sort of just around where the sleeve separation is. I think that's quite a good, about here, a good place for the colour change. But I'm just loving it. The stitch pattern's really cool. It doesn't look great now, but yeah, I think it's going to be amazing. And it's got an I-cord cast on, which I hadn't done before, and took forever, like probably an hour and a half, but so worth it, because I mean, an I-cord cast on just looks so professional, doesn't it? Just so lovely. So really enjoying that at the moment, and I can't put it down, so, which is good, because obviously I want it to be finished in time to be able to wear it, you know, while the weather's a bit warmer. I don't want it to be finished in the autumn when I'm getting the jumpers back out. But yeah, really chuffed with that one, really excited to wear it. I'm really hoping it fits. I never seem to have much luck with the fit of garments, but I'm sure it'll be fine. It's probably because I'm lazy and I don't swatch properly, and I don't really know what I'm doing when I swatch, to be honest, but right, I just want to show my blanket quickly, for no other reason than it is currently a square. So it looks quite nice. I haven't added much since the last time I podcast, because, well, I just wanted to square it off and then leave it so I could show you. So here it is. I'm going to stand up actually. So it's getting quite big now. I think it is 8 by 8, so 64 squares. And I am loving it. Loving it. It's so pretty, sorry. So pretty. Yeah, I can't tell you which colours I added in last because it was so long ago, but I mean, look, that one is, oh, neon something from Labiana May. So it's just lovely. There's lots of nice memories. There's some minis sent by friends. There are like mini sets I bought from Claire. There are ones I bought in Paris. So it's just, yeah, it's gorgeous. I love it. I'd quite like to have this in our summer house, which is being delivered in a month's time. Yay. So keep working on it. I still don't think it'd be a finished object for a long time, but it's certainly growing faster than my last mitered square blanket did, because I'm a bit more into it. So yeah, I'm loving that one. And the leftovers from that blanket are all going into my crochet blanket, just so that everything gets used up. So that's all my whips. So I'm going to show you a few acquisitions that I have, and then talk to you a little bit about my plans for the summer. So first of all, a while ago I put a little thing on Instagram to ask if anybody knew of anyone that had some rainbow self-striping in stock, because my goddaughter Freya had requested some rainbow socks, and what Freya wants knit for her, Freya gets. And I was just having trouble finding any in stock anywhere. You know, of course I went straight to Fat Funky Fibres, but they didn't have what I wanted. So my friend Rachel, who is Rewarding Memories, and she has the This Knitty Life podcast, which is just lovely. You should go watch it if you haven't. She very kindly messaged me, and she literally is the world's greatest fan of Fat Funky Fibres and has so many colours. And she said, I've probably got enough, like a scrap that you can have, because obviously a 4-year-old's socks don't need to be huge. So I said, you know, probably 30 grams would do it. So she very kindly sent me this, which I don't know the colourway name, but the colours are so pretty, and Freya's going to love that. I'm going to start those soon. And then she also really kindly sent me this bag of minis for my blanket. So this one's labelled, this one says Sparkle Duck. So cute, look at that. And then there are all sorts of goodies. I think I recognise some as being Kate Celine, I'm pretty sure. Try and get them out to show you. Really pretty. I'm sure that looks like a Kate Celine. This one's like really soft and subtle but sparkly. This one. This one's lovely. And this one with like pink and green speckles. Oh, and this one's lovely. I love this background colour. That one looks like a Kate Celine as well. It's got those kind of telltale black speckles. This one. And this one. And this one. Those neon pops of yellow are cool. And this really pretty one here. So thanks, Rach. I can't wait to put those in my blanket. And it's amazing, actually. You think you've got loads and loads of minis, but it does really eat them up. So it's lovely to have some more. Then my friend Roz is the greatest enabler. She's always posting things on her Instagram, and I'm like, oh, I want that. But the other day she posted some minis that she bought from Siobhan's Crafts, and I didn't even follow Siobhan's Crafts on Instagram, but I just had to have a look. And then she had an update like the next day with this colour in, so I had to get it. So I bought these. These are the Sunset minis. I mean, look at those. Aren't they just the prettiest thing? And I like to justify it by saying that I didn't have many yellows and greens for my blanket, and this seemed to have quite a few, so you know, I needed them. But oh, just look at them. I kept sort of getting them out of the packet and just like holding them like a bouquet of flowers and just looking at them, stroking them. But they're so cute. I didn't want to wind them up till I'd shown you, so I can wind them up now. Look at those. So there are 10 gram minis, and they are just a 75-25 merino nylon. So these will be perfect for the blanket. I love them. I love them. Can't stop looking at them. And oh, she's got some more minis coming in her next update. Not good. Right, bit of rustling. So my lovely friend Alice has recently updated, well, she's had a new website. So Alice is Wild Wool. I think she is Alice E17 on Instagram. And so I'm always looking at her colours, and the other day I just couldn't resist splashing out on some minis. So I mean, I love how they got sent to me in this like bundle with all the tags with the names on. I am going to take them apart now actually. And she sent me a little bunch of progress keepers and stitch markers, which are lush. And then my favourite kind, I'll show you now. Sorry, I'm having trouble undoing the ribbon. They are absolutely my favourite kind of stitch marker that I use the most by a mile. These ones with like a long loop. They're just so easy to use. So they're so pretty, look, the little stars. Focus. I won't stay still to let it focus. You get the idea. And then this really cool squid. So all of Alice's colours are, I think, pretty much inspired by wildlife, fish, nature, things like that. So this one is called Orange Anemone, and I wanted some more orange for my blanket, so this is perfect. I just love that. I wouldn't normally go for orange, but I love it. This one is called Conch Shell. So soft and pretty. Love it. This one is Neon Pearl. Gorgeous, look at all these colours. And it is kind of neon, but really, really soft. So clever. And then these two are not for my blanket because they're too wild, but I couldn't resist. Look at these. So this one is Pastel Electric Squid. And this one is Electric Squid. I've had one of Alice's yarns before, which was another electric squid, but it had black speckles on, and I just adored it so much I had to get this one. So happy. Happy yarn. So yes, I've got a lot of minis to wind now, but oh, just gorgeous. Yeah, I thoroughly recommend you having a look at Alice's shop. It really is amazing. Her website is wildwoolyarns.com. Oh, focused on me. There we go. And this was cool. She, on the back of her card, there's like a little conversion chart, which is quite useful, with like centimetres to inches, yards to metres, grams to ounces. That's really useful. Nice little touch there. So thank you very much, Alice. I love them and I can't wait to knit them. Okay, now the last thing is for a specific project. So I was browsing on like Hot Right Now on Ravelry. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, hay fever is doing me in at the moment. So I was browsing on the Hot Right Now on Ravelry, and I stumbled across, I don't know if it's new or not, but it's called the Schnee Shawl. That's easy for you to say. Schnee Shawl by Melanie Berg. And Schnee is actually German for snow, if I remember rightly, from my GCSEs, which were longer ago than I'd care to admit. And it is just stunning. I wish I'd brought a picture now, but it's like, I think it's basically a rectangle shawl, but it's got quite a clever construction. It's not just knit one end to the other. And it's mainly mohair with just really fine stripes of lace and mohair held together. So I thought it's just going to be light and beautiful and delicate. So I'm not sure I'm happy with the colours I've chosen. This one I am. So this is your West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite, and I love this yarn. I've not seen it before. It's 80% Falkland wool and 20% mulberry silk. There's 800 metres and 100 grams. And this colour is called Viscount. which reminds me of the Minty Viscount biscuits. I expect that's why it's called that. I love it. It's got such a gorgeous sheen to it. It's probably not the first colour I'd normally pick, but I think I can totally get away with it. Really happy with this one. But then the mohair I picked on screen, it looked like the right colour, and now I'm not so sure. So I wanted them to kind of be the same colour, but it's a lot bluer. So I don't know whether to use this for something else and get some more. I want to get it right. I want it to be beautiful. I need something a little bit greener, I think. Looking at it there, I'm not sure. This one is just a Drops Kid Silk mohair. It is 75-25 mohair silk, 210 meters to 25 grams. It's a great yarn. I use it all the time. It's not expensive. I think these are about £3 each. But I want to get it right, so I might have a little look later. I got this all from Wool Warehouse, which is sort of my go-to for commercial yarns. Yeah, I love this so much. I want to get the mohair colour right, really. So that's a little project I've got on the cards. As far as plans for knitting this summer, I really want to make Freya a Love Note sweater for Christmas. I think she'd love that. I think it'd be really pretty. And I've got some yarns which I think will be suitable for that. It's still great, even though she's almost 5 and she's really tall. She's very tiny. So I can still knit her anything out of one skein. So like, she just, such a little dink. So that's something I want to make. I want to make a bonbon bunny to match the little hat. I've got enough yarn to make a matching bonbon bunny. I want to make some more of the little hats. I'd like to make Paul some socks for his birthday and Christmas, which was fine. His birthday and Christmas are 2 months apart. And he does have size 11 feet, but I do shorty socks, it'd be fine. So I do that. I really want to cast on my 3rd Whitmore sweater, which is going to be a black one. I also found an amazing pattern on Ravelry, again, browsing through the Hot Right Now. Now, what was it called? It's something like the Together Apart sweater or something like that. It was by Unit and it was a free pattern. It was really pretty and it was kind of similar to Whitmore sweater in that it had sort of a lacy kind of yoke. So right up my street. So I obviously got it straight away because it was free. So that might be on the cards at some point, I guess. And I did also see a really nice shawl by Casa Pinka, but I think I might save that as like an advent shawl because it was sort of lots of different colours. So yeah, that's the plan. So as far as the summer holidays go, I don't have a lot planned. We were supposed to be going to Italy in just under 2 weeks' time, but obviously that's not happening now. We decided to cancel early in lockdown because I just thought whatever happens, I'm not going to want to go on a plane. I don't want to go somewhere where I might get stuck. I don't want to go somewhere where the airline might go bust and I can't get home. You know, I don't want to be going on holiday and, you know, queuing to go shopping or, you know, not being able to eat out, anything like that. Even though we were, you know, in an Airbnb, I don't want to spend my hard-earned money on that. I want to wait till it's nice again. So we are staying at home. I booked a few days on Dartmoor in a few weeks' time at Harford Bridge, which is where lovely Lucy lives. Lucy from the Country Bumpkin Creates podcast. So we're spending a few days there, which is one of my favourite places on earth. So it's just going to be lovely. We're just going to have a few days walking and chilling and eating and stuff like that. Yeah, we were also supposed to be going to Paul's sister's wedding and that's been postponed till next April, so we're not doing that now. But it's all fine. I don't mind not being able to do much this summer because I've worked so hard that I'm just really happy to be at home. It's so nice. So, you know, just pottering around the garden and doing all the things in the house. Our summer house is arriving in a few weeks, so it'd be really nice to I want to decorate that and make it all lovely and spend some time in it. before I go back to work. Unfortunately, it's coming like a week before I go back to work, which is a bit annoying, but it can't be helped. So yeah, that's the summer. So hopefully I'll have lots of knitting time and have lots of podcast content. So I should be able to upload episodes fairly regularly if I can. But it's been lovely being back with you. It's so funny. You think that, I'm just sitting in front of a camera, but I do love making podcasts, and it's lovely to sort of connect with you all. So yeah, I'm glad that I'm back and able to crack on with it. So yeah, watch this space. Hopefully in a few weeks' time there'll be another episode up and I'll have lots more to show you. But in the meantime, have a lovely, lovely time. Enjoy the weather, if it's as good as it is here where you are. And stay safe, and I'll see you soon.